Good evening. It is the 29th of November 2020, and there is no evidence for this. This is Munted News. This claim is disputed. Learn more about the no evidence that there is, that this is not disputed, that it is. And welcome. Our top story tonight. A mad professor has threatened to force all world nations to submit to lifelong totalitarian servitude, offering only the binary choice of house imprisonment or state imprisonment for the crime of resisting house imprisonment. As such, all terrestrial subjects will run the risk of being righteously murdered in the street for the crime of hatefully murdering people in the street. There is no evidence for this. It is absolutely not happening. Despite no evidence for this, conspiracy theorists, like the ones we proudly systematically censor, have falsely and unsubstantiatedly suggested that there is evidence for this. But before we let them present any of it, let us assure you it is not there. We will now not let them present any of it because it's not there. The professor in question it does not exist and absolutely is not doing this. I absolutely am doing this, said the professor. I can unambiguously confirm my plan to literally switch civilization off. It's called Let's Switch Civilization Off. You can read all about it at www.letsswitchcivilizationoff/this is not a conspiracy / for God's sake what is wrong with you people /awooga.org. You can see our step-by-step plan, catalogue our unionized roster of henchmen, and browse through images of our nefarious volcano base. End quote. Naturally, there is no evidence for any of this. It is just a conspiracy theory, and a baseless one at that. What the hell are you talking about? Said the professor. I just told you I am literally ... splutter choke gnarg. End quote. Unfortunately, Professor Gnarg could not be reached for any further comment, or any comment at all, on this matter, because it's not happening and he is not real, nor is anything, except Munted News. This is Munted News. That is exactly what this is, to the very letter. There is no evidence for Munted News. This is Munted News. That is not Munted News. And it is extremely dangerous to our democracy. Alright. There is no evidence of President-elect Amber Heard committing domestic abuse. There is not even any evidence of her even being accused of domestic abuse. Nor are there even any news headlines, so much as satirically alluding to any such possibilities. These are unsubstantiated lies meant to smear the good character of a beloved actor. Lies propagated by drug addict and wife-beater President-elect Johnny Depp. While beating his wife and snorting lines of crack off of her fresh wounds, Depp told us in a statement, "There is no evidence that these are lies that you're saying right now. I really am doing those things. Snort, thwack, snort. Wait, why am I snorting crack?" We don't know why, for the sake of this story. We thought crack was something taken by insufflation. It's perfectly normal to us, and it wasn't even a typo. News just in, it was a typo. Conspiracy theorists are flagrantly claiming it wasn't a typo, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy. Speaking of which, unemployed carnival barker Donald Trump has died. While golfing in Arizona, he was caught unaware in the sand trap and torn limb from limb by angry chupacabras, who are confirmed to be white supremacists in association with the Proud Boys. Trump's mortal soul, yes, he does have one, blotched and tattered and weary though it is, floated painfully from his scattered entrails, only to be apprehended by the ghost of Abraham Lincoln, who, upon making deathly eye contact with Trump's emergent spiritual opposition, derisively muttered, "You know nothing of my work," and gave his incorporeal nose a tweak before fading unspectacularly into the ether. Whereupon flocks of cherubim and seraphim descended from the skies, carried Mr. Trump's severed body parts to the four corners of the earth, and cast them into the treacherous pits of orange fire from whence it came. His lawyer, President-elect Rudy Giuliani, has spontaneously melted into a tepid puddle of snot and hair dye, as his bubbling organs sizzled turbulently into an amorphous mass. He held his hand to the sky and cried, "I was lying all along, and so was Trump. Curse you, America! Curse you, women and minorities! Curse you, my dude!" End quote. At which point a blinding shaft of brown light shone from the detritus of Giuliani's disintegrated ectoplasmic remains and pulled it into the underworld under a rainbow-coloured halo of peace, love, and unflavoured almond milk. And everyone on the bus clapped. An anonymous source has confirmed that there is evidence for this. However, due to concerns of being doxxed and harassed by incel mercenaries on the internet, the whistleblower is legally unable to speak or appear in public or to actually give any statement in the first place. Nevertheless, we can guarantee that this story is true. Not just true, but super true. Not just super true, but the most secure news story in the entire history of the spoken word. Why on earth wouldn't you believe this? Donald Trump, despite his irrefutable death, has persisted in circulating baseless, libelous claims that he is still alive. "What do you mean, no evidence?" guffawed Mr. Trump. "The evidence is right here. It's literally in the very first place you would look for it." He harumphed. "L'herder," replied a totally independent non-propagandist of a definitely a journalist. "I just think when you make a claim, you should actually have some evidence of it, Larl, know what I mean? This is extremely dangerous to our democracy, so deal with it. Trump is dead. He was legitimately and lawfully torn limb from limb by Bigfoot and thrown off the earth by angels. It's all over the news and everything. Whoops, pardon me, my mask has slipped. I hope I live that down at a rate of 99% or more." "It wasn't Bigfoot, it was Chupacabras," he replied. "Oh, whatever! Jesus!" "And angels aren't necessarily the same as yeah, well, I just called the dictionary and told them to change the definition. Ha! So now you're wrong. I win. This is Munted News. And people are actually standing by that shit like it's some kind of argument, rather than the unhinged stamping of a petulant child taking a crayon to a holy book. This is Munted News. Alright, in other news. In a new ruling, English citizens will once again be held at state gunpoint and forced to subsidise the basic hygiene upkeep of third world nations full of violent slumdogs who continue to pathologically hate us despite our ongoing enslaved generosity towards them. Pictured here. "That didn't happen," said a Scotsman. "Scotsmen who have to work so that Englishmen can have their free tampons. It's been that way since time immemorial. We put our blood, sweat and tears into those tampons. Look," said some beady-eyed Anglo, "no you is a shitty argument even when it's true. When it's straight up a negative filter of the truth, it's just inconceivable. ... bracket shank thud close bracket. As for you, Jimmy," the Scotsman persevered, "according to my records, you live in the south of England, So how did you manage to post a picture of Scotland just now? Wait, is that me? Aye, that's you, said the Scotsman, as he began chowing down on his third helping of deep-fried sanitary towel. Bah! Said the Englishman. Och! Said the Scotsman. Elaborated the Englishman. Oh, snake! Very, very dangerous to our democracy. All right. In some lighter news, I guess, maybe. International Women's Day was, of course, on November the 19th, as per usual. Workplaces began the traditional celebrations of forcing women to work for free for the rest of the year, there is, of course, evidence for this, marking the occasion with the ceremonial Great Toilet Cubicle Gang Rape. Innocent women have been left bloody and bruised on cold tile floors all over the world, and no one's even talking about it. This is true. We know this to be true, as we have said this is true, and now so do you. Unfortunately, a highly insignificant but highly dangerous online cult of hyper-misogynists have tried to undermine our trusted authority by creating the false narrative of International Men's Day, for which there is, of course, no evidence. November is International Women's Month, and it always has been. Do not believe their lies! They even tried spreading malicious rumours about us, and about some kind of degenerate ritual in which women are gang-raped in toilet cubicles. No evidence for such absurdities has ever been proposed on any news article. Meanwhile, hyper-misogynists have been gang-raping women in toilet cubicles, and nothing is even being done about it. This is true. Autumn is officially International Women's Season, and always has been. So now, of all times, we will not stand for this kind of revisionist history, and we never have. Yes, we have. But that was men's fault. So no, we haven't. And we never would. And if we did, men did it. Or didn't do it. Delete as arbitrarily appropriate. There is no evidence for any of this. And it is extremely dangerous to our democracy. Anyway, as we all know, 2020 in its entirety is International Women's Year. Oh, wait, no, it isn't. No, isn't it? I didn't say that. There's no evidence I said that.